Hey, how's it going? I want to make a video here about a book I read this weekend called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. He's an individual that was in a concentration camp in Auschwitz for about 3 years during World War II. And as you can imagine, experienced some of the most heinous crimes against humanity in that setting for those 3 years. And he talks about how when everything's stripped away from you, he's separated from his family, his wife. He didn't know if she was alive or dead. Lost all possessions, obviously. Everything was taken from him, along with everyone else that he was with. And he had about a 1 in 20 chance of living, but he ended up living and being able to tell the story and became a very world famous psychologist. But what really stood out to me is Victor's perspective on finding purpose in the struggle, and just the need to find purpose in struggle. And then he ended his piece on the concentration camp about once everything else is taken away from you, like the one thing people can't take from you is your spiritual belief and your belief in God. That's between you and God, and no matter how much is taken from you, you just couldn't stand firm in your faith, which obviously the early Christians, many of them sacrificed with their life, because of their faith in Christ. But, and then, we talked quite a bit about, just the importance of, finding purpose, in the future. So, there was a discussion around basically, for him, as a psychologist, he had to visualize himself in the future in front of an audience giving a lecture, because he had some ideas that he wanted to get out to the world, and he just obviously couldn't get them out to the world while he's in the concentration camp. So he visualized himself kind of, in this room with these individuals and telling his story. Then he also visualized, his wife and being reunited with his wife, which unfortunately never happened because she passed away. But and then so he walked through just different scenarios of people he met with in the concentration camp and talking to them about purpose. And for one individual, again, it was reuniting with a spouse. Another individual, it was reuniting with their children and being able to teach their children things that they had never gotten to teach them. For another individual, the future purpose was getting closer to God and purifying their spirit with the time that they had left on earth. So using every moment of the day to cleanse their spirit to have everlasting life. But each of the people that he talked through were pretty lost, but he was able to help give them some purpose, and I thought it was really powerful. And then he talked about the people that, how many people died right after Christmas and New Year's of various diseases that were going around in the camp. And he said that the reason for that, at least his belief, was people had hope of being reunited with their families over the Christmas and New Year's holiday. They just had this, maybe false hope that it would happen. When it didn't happen, when those dates came, they lost all hope and they died. So, and he had a couple different examples of that, of like the importance of, really creating, this future vision for yourself that gives you purpose throughout your life. And it's very individual. No one can do it for you. It has to be your own, something that you create yourself. So anyway, there are so many great things in the book. I highly recommend it. Again, it's Man's Search for Meaning. And it's a pretty quick read. I read it in a couple hours, actually. Just couldn't put it down. But take care.